This product came off the back of customer requests, basically. I remember when I first started 5 years ago, Central were requesting products like this, and one or two of you out there. If you haven't used CRM before, it's basically a central place for every communication that you have with your customers, your suppliers, your trading partners. So everybody can look in there. So say, for instance, a salesperson moves on, the next salesperson can step in and see all the history of everything that's ever happened. It certainly puts a process in place. So if you've got an extensive sales team, they're all going to be working the same way, providing you with information. I'm going to show you that in a moment. And it's certainly a management tool where you can rely on the figures that are being put into EMiR. But let's take a look at that. Right. Nice thing about CRM, it's like all the other products, it's had a complete new look and feel. So if you've not seen this product before, everything's in one place. It is a web browser application. Now, the reason it's in a web browser, if you're a salesperson working from home, all you need is just a laptop and a URL to get onto it. You could be sitting in your car in McDonald's working, and you've still got access to everything that's important in EMiR. Just navigating around, the top part of the screen is all about searching. Down the left-hand side is the buttons that allow you to do things, and the middle part of your screen is where your information is displayed. I want to quickly fly through and show you the new features as we go as well. Key statistics, I've just logged on as me, the salesperson. I can see my actual sales revenue versus budget. So I can see as a salesperson, it isn't looking fantastic this month. I might even be a manager looking at this and thinking, oh, it's not looking, with the 26th of the month and we're nowhere near target. Over the next 3 months, it's not looking too good either. But what we're really doing is we're wanting to know, is the salesperson putting activity in that's going to change that position? Over on the right-hand side, expected sales revenue is being calculated on 3 things. It's being calculated on those orders, on those quotes you've got in the system, and also things called opportunities. Now, an opportunity is everything that happens before the quote. So if somebody says to you, you know what, you should give me a ring in 3 months because we might have some work for you, it's a way of recording that, guessing the amount of figure, and it'll actually put weighted values in. And that's a salesperson's job, is to forecast the sort of turnover that they're going to be doing for you. So if I've got my actual sales revenue there, come down to the right-hand side, I've now got an expected sales revenue based on those facts. So I can actually see in the month that, you know, we're gonna end strong because I'm saying that certain quotes are going to come in on these dates, opportunities are turning into quotes, etc. And you can see over the next 3 months, I'm a person that can be relied on. And of course, you'll very quickly be able to define that information. Over in state of play, that's exactly what's happening right now. Revenue today, what's come in, what orders have been placed, none at all, because of course we're all here. We've got our outstanding opportunities or outstanding quotes. But things that are important, like quotes due, these are things that need to be chased up right now. I've got the information to my fingertips to say which quotes they are, and quotes required. They're the ones that are sitting in the office that haven't been estimated yet, that we need to get out. And we're going to talk about average return time in a moment. You know, getting those estimates back to customers is where your success lies. And then I've got my actual profit. So as long as we're saying to ourselves that are we doing work that is profitable and not just churning work for the sake of it, that's where we're getting those figures from. You see, as a salesperson, I'm going to be talking in greater detail about KPI summaries. When you're managing a team, you want to know that they're doing activities that are leading towards the sale. So we work quite closely with a few people on putting a KPI summary in CRM, and I'll show you how that's being improved. But here we're saying, are people making calls? Are people generating quotes? Are people getting those quotes in? And of course, we're able to set targets. So here, for instance, 2 quotes in today would have been nice, but of course the variation is -2 on the actual day. Of course, then we're looking at a week, we're actually behind on a month here. It's starting to generate questions about the activity of this person before it gets to a critical stage where business isn't coming in. We're going to talk about key performance indicators in a greater area. The other thing that's important is I now want a snapshot of my entire working area. This is actually called Action Center. This is everybody that I look after, and it's interrogating all of the information that's sitting in EMiR about these customers. Probably on Wi-Fi, so it's probably just taking a few seconds to get there. But you know, I'm going to come into CRM now, and I want to know everything that's going on. So I've just looked at a report. I know that there's no revenue today. I know no orders have come in, but I can see the jobs to be quoted. You know, when I'm keeping an eye on the dates that these were received, I'm able to phone into the office and say, look, that estimate hasn't moved. Have we got that price yet? And I can click on any of these buttons and take a look at the actual jobs, what the detail about them was, what we've said to the customers, etc. Incomplete quotes, no price set. So they've gone into estimating, they've not been finalised. I can see my active jobs in the system. This is fantastic if you take a look at this information and you sort it by customer before you go in and see somebody. You can see all of the jobs stacked up, what's happening, what statuses they're at. Coming down to quotes to be followed, you'll notice little things starting to appear. If you are a CRM user, I'll just highlight that and show you in greater detail. We've now put a funnel, if you like, or a pyramid of quote status. So you can now start to categorize against each quote exactly where it is. And that status list can be defined by you. So, you know, quote received, greater detail required, revising that quote, whatever the stages you go through in actual quotes, we can set that against yours. You'd be a foolish salesman to go in and try and sell to somebody that was on stop. It's far better to actually find out from this report exactly how much they owe you. Customers to be contacted. Functionality we've had in EMiR for a long time. So if people have been quiet for 30, 60, say 90 days, they're not done anything with you, it's telling you here, these are people you should be on top of. Opportunities, like I say, in this particular case, I've got a value of 10,000, and I'm saying that there's a 70% likelihood that this is going to turn into an order, and I put a date against that. Of course, all of the reports and the forecasts I'm giving my manager are based on those weighted values. So, you know, salespeople used to live and die off the back of their forecast, didn't they? If they forecast that too much was going to come in and it didn't come in, it never looked good, and same vice versa. And then more account information. So all of this is linked to EMiR. This is why CRM in EMiR is so much better than a standalone CRM. It's not just about sales and marketing activity. So let's have a look at a few changes. Changing the search items. Of course, we want to find our customers. You'll notice that we've started to add to things like customer sites, the codes, the phone number. Somebody phones up, you see their number on the screen, you can just type it in, it tells you which customer it is. We've also added fuzzy site searching, so if I just put a percentage in there, just put in a small phrase and press enter, you'll notice that it goes away and finds even parts of phrases or words, parts of the names of people. So different ways to get into your information and find it. But we're here to look at United Performance. They're one of our big customers. We just click on the button. Everything I want to know about a customer, you'll notice that if it's a customer or if it's a prospective customer, it says at the top. For CRM users, we've now put everything in a table so that you can see exactly everything at actual revenue, exactly what's going on with your customer. And we've added the new feature of Marcus Prospect. If a customer has stopped dealing with you for a period of time, I can hit that button, we can put it back into the marketing pot to talk to people again, send them the messages about what's new. Details about the company. Important that you're able to categorize the types of businesses that you have. CRM rating is about how you deal with your customer, but of course industry segment, you want to break down your hospitality from your your industrial customers because you want to send them different messages. Different addresses, all of this of course was set up in EMiR when you added that customer. We've had a request to put a button on there so that people can change addresses more easily, very easy. If you use CRM at the moment, you'll notice we've added the ability to add product and customer contacts to this screen as well. Tiny things just help the workflow. Product interest simply is the sales matrix. So there's things that we've sold customers and there are things that we could sell customers and we matrix them together. Marketing again, send a particular message to people that could use your pump services. Very easy to do. So that's our customer. Again, on the line, we've got Danny Baker there. He's one of the most prolific contacts that we have within that business. Similar sort of information as it opens up. So we hold everything. We hold the name, the position, the email address, everything that we need about that particular contact. Right. Again, new feature, transfer. Something that happens in this industry, because it is a small industry, is that people move. You know, we're speaking to them one day, the next minute they're in another business. You press transfer now, it closes off these things and tells you which company they've gone to. When you go to the new company, it set that person up again automatically. It's just a thing that happens. It's a request. It's been put in. Now, quite a prolific person here. You can see all of the different quotes that are outstanding for this person. It's quite a good customer to know. So these are quotes that were added in EMiR, and I'm now able to click on that particular quote, and it goes away and it shows me the particular document that went out to the client. Okay, so I can see exactly what they've received. I can now close that down. I can make a call. Oh, it shut the window down underneath. My apologies. Okay, so basically I phoned the customer up. Can I just follow that quote up with you? It's going to take a second to open. And what I do is I then follow it up in a certain way. So it's either a telephone call, made a meeting to go and see somebody, maybe it's an email follow-up that I've done, and I just click on the relevant button to record the information. Now, one of the things that we've just added to this screen while it just loads is at the moment I'm just speaking to Danny Baker, but you'll also notice another button that's been added to the top of the screen, because you might have had a conference call with 3 people in the organisation. It's going to tag that message against all 3. Little features that people have asked for. In fact, I think that's for you, was it, Paul? Yeah. Notes. So we add the notes. We write what the conversation was all about. We have tailorable drop-down lists because we might be have different stages of follow-up. So I'm going to recall this person again, and in the future I'm going to try and arrange a meeting. Okay. So you can either close it off as completed. You can say yes, I'm going to accept this order, or you can arrange callbacks on this with the right dates, reminders, etc. When I was talking about the quote status, this is where it is. I'm actually going to revise this quote for the customer, and again, it can all be done from one screen. We just accept that, and it's closed down and done straight away. Now, of course, if the customer wants to purchase, it's just a matter of saying, yes, that quote is now going to be closed off. So I just click the tick, and I have the ability now to put in the value, put the due date, click it, and it's going straight into EMiR and accepting that quote. One of the things that you'll see in a moment is that we do have, we are looking at putting the facility in for rejecting quotes as well. So just completing the process. But it's taken time to obviously put all of that functionality in. So there's lots going on. You'll also notice the way that I particularly use this system is that I click Action Today, and what Action Today says is I walked in the office, this is exactly what I've got to do as a person. I can click on the search button and it pulls up all of the actions that I've got to do. Now, I think you can see the top 2 are actually in a purple or a lilac colour, and the rest are in white. So the lilac ones are actually my prospects, and the white ones are my actual customers. And of course, I can define by industry or campaign and focus in on the certain types of data that I want to ring first. So, just for anybody that is a CRM user, different requests we have had is that we've added additional columns on each of these screens now so that you can see that a quote is involved. You've got your new quote status, you've got your quote date, you've got your expected revenue date, your sales input date, and you've got value. So you've got as much information as you actually need on that particular line. You've also added a couple of little features here. One is the ability to reschedule forward. So if I was in the office yesterday and I thought, I'm actually at the open day tomorrow, I want to get all of these and put them into Friday so I can do them then. It's a quick button. Press the button, put the date in, away you go. Also, there's that strange occasion where you've got follow-up set up, and if there's no value or quote against them, you might want to close them just that little bit quicker, and that's why we've put that little dustbin there. You can press the button, it's a one-click close on particular follow-ups. Fantastic. Okay, so that's action today. Every time you action something, it disappears. It will then pop up in the other days. And you have the ability then to look forward and think, well, on Friday, what have I got to do as a person? I can preempt my workload. And as a manager, I can look at recent activity. I can say, what has this salesperson done over the last week, 2 weeks, month, etc. There's then a series of reports. We've got actual sales. Won't go through each of these. But what we are talking about here is the ability to export everything into Excel if you want to analyze it further. And you'll also see for those people that if I put in expected sales, as a new facility went in there just yesterday. Let's pull that up. You'll notice that there's now 3 columns been added to the right-hand side of expected sales. A lot of this comes down to requests and the way to see information easier. So instead of using 2 reports, we're now able to use 1 report to pull out the information. If you are using CRM, you will notice that's an advantage. As a user of CRM and as one of the major developers of CRM, one of the main advantages is that when you get all your information in one place, you want to tell the world about your products. You want to tell your customers about open days. You want to tell your prospects about the new modules that you've launched in certain ways. And the CRM dashboard actually works in that way. What we have here is the ability to look at all the data and give you the ability to filter it down. And we're going to talk about dashboards in greater detail, but everything that is in a pink zone is what we've defined in CRM terms. So for instance, email address. If you're going to do an email campaign, you only want to export people that have got a defined email address against you. You maybe want to look at their job title and only send out to people that are interested in finance or sales, those particular methods. It's a way of breaking it down. The industry sectors that we have, in your case it might be hospitality, industry, etc. Again, break it down. And then we've got our product interest. Of course, if they've had one of your products and another one is more relevant, again, the methods can be right. So every time that I press these slices, or filters as they are in report writing terms, it will then limit either the company or the contacts that you're actually looking at. And if you've used dashboards before, we just click in the top right-hand corner here, and it enables us to export that. So if you wanted to do a mail merge, or an email shot, that type of thing, you're able to do directly from the marketing dashboard. One thing I would say, if you're an organisation that's taking CRM quite seriously, then give us a call and we'll spend a bit of time online with you and talk about how it would work specifically with you as well. The good news is I'm pleased to tell you that we're on the verge of releasing the mobile app, something we've been playing with in the last couple of weeks. What we do recognise as a thing is that you can't always pull a laptop out in the car before you go in. The most convincing, the most easy application for people is the use of their mobile phone. So in the middle screen here, I've got the ability to do a contact search, which you saw earlier. We can search for the company and it pulls it out on the left-hand side. We can click into the client then, we can see what they're all about. We can see what conversations we've had with customers, what quotes are there, etc. And on the right-hand side, we've got the ability to search and look at the quotes that you've actually got on the system. So the main things that you would see just before you wanted to go in and see a client. You've also got the ability then when you come out to register the call and say exactly what was said in the meeting. And that's quite nice, is that you're recording it at the time as opposed to coming away with notes that you might forget at a later date. So if you've got CRM, hopefully we'll have that out to you soon. Gary spoke about the EDFG. The EDFG is generally where a lot of these requirements come from. And this is why this is a proposed section, because the more people that request stuff, the more people that understand about where we're going, the more likely it is to go on the list and get done. We got ideas of an enhanced reminder system. At the moment, we've got action today that pops up and says, hey, you've got to do this right now. The enhanced reminder system will pop up on the screen and say, here we are. You said you were going to call at this time. It's very important. And it'll be a bit like Outlook. You can dismiss it, you can advance it by an hour if you're doing something else, but it's a more way of keeping you on your toes. Logging on with Outlook. Outlook is the application that most people use for email. When you've sent an email or you've received an email, you want to attach that to the particular records. That's something we're looking at. And grouping by project. I won't go through all of these, but I think the one that we've had conversations with just in the last week and written specs for is subcategories. If you think about what I recorded a call, I spoke to a person, I said, thanks very much, I've been to see you today and here's the details. What some people want to do is say, what type of call was this though? Was this the first time you spoke to a customer? Was this a quote follow-up? Was this a negotiation call? And what that means is it gives you greater control then over the dashboards that we write. When we're talking about the key performance indicators, we can see the types of activities that make your salespeople successful. Viewing quote details, linking opportunities, even the ability when you looked at the quote a moment ago, we're going to be able to send you in the quote folder. So if there's other information that's been stored down against the quote, again, it's all possible there.